I just wanted to show something real quick. This is the Chicago page. This is the LaGrange page. On this page, there are the reviews that you've created, and these are text that will be read by Google. This will be helpful in this. It's even more helpful because we can go into the HTML and create tags. This could all be marked up with many different methods, but things like Stephanie could be linked to the page. We could do the simple method. You could link individual staff members to the page there. As you can see here, this team manager page. So now that would be linked. One issue I do have with this is how the links will be shown. Close that. And we can see now it's in there and it hides. Nobody can really tell, which is good because it visually doesn't make the page look strange when a visitor is on this page. The other method we could use in the future that is far more complex is to go into the code like this. And if you look over here, I could provide a prompt, but essentially you're telling it that you want that prompt, you want that text to be more semantically related to our services. And in this example, you can see it created an ahref to the team member page. However, if I want, I can insert this, and now we will end up with, it'll look very different, but you can see it's going to create a strong, as far as the search engines, for a normal person, they would view this and they wouldn't notice. But as far as what a search engine sees, there's a lot more written here. This here tells the search engines what they're looking at, and they're looking at a review. So to simply enter that in for each one of these, I'm going to go ahead and do it on the LaGrange page just to experiment. But in the future, just so you understand the benefits of using a text block, you can keep the visual look for the users, a way where they can understand it. Also, I generally leave some of the ones with less text a little bigger. And then I also had gone through these and eliminated some of the padding, as you'll see here, and that's because on a mobile screen, it leaves a lot of room where there is no text and no font. See, this was originally how it was. You can tell there's a lot, almost 50% of the screen is unused because there is so much padding in these. So in the future, it's just something to consider. So the other method I'm going to use, I'm going to save that, is this Chicago location. I have imported many parts of a template that is a little more advanced method of web design. That would be this. This is a template offered by ThemeCo, and it's not so much a template as it is a system of web design where each element has components that are used throughout the site. So you change one thing and it changes throughout the site. I have brought that into our site and I am using it. You can see here on the side, these are components down here. These are ones that I made or Christian made. I use the word global, meaning everywhere, but these with the pound symbol were created by that template, as you can see here, and they include a lot of CSS and a lot of custom code to create a lot of dynamic elements and they render very well on all screens. One nice thing about this is we can just use a section, any section that you think is good. I really like the animation in these. For example, you could have used this whole section, or in the future on a service page, you could take this entire section named feature cards and you can copy the entire section, and then you could go to a page, create a new section, and you could paste it. And I have done that on this page, and I have brought in this review section. This review section, if you go to change any element on a single page, it will tell you that the element content is managed from its parent, which simply means this container. So all this custom CSS and dynamic content is all written, which you may even understand further than me. All of that is located in the settings of that section of that container. So there's a lot of code written to allow for all these sections to be modified for this global container. So for this global container to individually modify any one of these, when you click on it, there are children and there is a quote, and you can go in and you can change. See, it's using all of this to decide what the design and the coloring and what the hover state is. But if you actually want to change anything, it tells you have to go through the parent, and that would be here. So you can see here each one is named, and this gives you a place for the quote, a place for the picture, a place for the citation, which is this word here, and this would be, Google. We could use this however we want, but these would be names. So where I would get these would be from one of two places. One place is the method you used, where you actually went to Google, to the Google Place page. This is for Chicago Mount Greenwood. You could use just going to the actual review list and you could read through them or search using Control F. You can find words like Chicago. This will allow you to find what you're looking for, or if you were specifically looking for Mount Greenwood, which is something we want to make this page rank better for, and it's not ranking very well for now, I would try to find a review. So this is a great review. So it's in the owners section. So ideally, you find ones that have staff member names like this that can be tied to the staff member pages, or you find ones that have reference to geographic areas, which it doesn't seem there's any in these. So I found a good one here because it has a very uncommon term, this testosterone shots. Eventually we're going to make a page for that. It also mentions teeth whitening, which we will need a page for. So this is a very good review to use. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and then go back to our page. Enter that. And now you can see we have that there. And as far as for the reviewer name, if you wanted to save that picture, you could also use that picture on the page. This would require you to have to upload it. I have uploaded that image, and something additional that you can always do is to add the metadata that properly matches. That will increase. It's one more opportunity to get all of the information for the page onto, and we can just use that prompt. I can send you this again. I think there's an SOP for image metadata. It's a pretty long prompt, but if you have if you if you keep a project, I don't know if you are using GPT to its fullest, but you can create a project, and in that project you can upload all of your files and instructions, and you can have a separate chat for each task. So this for me is already pre-created with the instructions to generate what I need. So then you can just drop images in and get all the metadata that you need. That's all filled out, and as you can see, if you use the proper prompt, it will provide things. These are all city names. This also ties in entities, which are Wikipedia related for SEO purposes. If we were to do every one of these slides in a similar way, this would drastically increase the SEO of this page. My goal is to compare this page to the method that you used on Lagrange and determine which increases the SEO of a page fuller. If you would like to try to do this same method as I have with Chicago, you could repeat this process on the Shorewood page using the Shorewood reviews. I will also provide a link to this document, which is the document we're using for the page managing what we're doing on each page. So for this, for the location of Chicago, I would mark down that I have added reviews. So I'll probably add another column for reviews, and I will attach this video in the top cell like I have been trying to do for an SOP. So each one of these processes has an SOP, so you can follow the process to do what is in a row. Please let me know if this is helpful to do it this way.